Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Pagdating po sa Mayo, huwag na kayong magdalawang isip. Tignan nyo po yung alyansa 12-0 po. I-shade nyo na kagad.
This was how President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. appealed to Bicolanos to vote for his slate, Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas, as they took their campaign to Bicol, the fifth vote-rich region in the country with over 4 million voters for the 2025 elections. On Friday, the administration's senatorial slate wooed voters in Pili Camarines Sur, a known bailiwick of former Vice President Leni Robredo, Marcos Jr.'s biggest rival during the 2022 elections. In his speech, the president again touted the track record of his 12 senatorial bets.
Natin, madaling sabihin, di kalidad po ang ating mga kandidato. Halos ito na yung dream team. Kung tatawagin para sa politika, ito na yung dream team para sa Senado.
Some candidates of the Alyansa slate remain unfazed in barnstorming their opponent's stronghold as they express confidence in their platforms.
The fact that we are here, we were also in Davao. Kumbaga sa kami, pinupuntahan namin yung sa tingin namin, sinasabi nila na mahina kami, pero kami ay nandito ng full force para ipakita na gusto naming ipaalam sa inyo ano ang tinatayuan naming lahat.
Iba yung issues noon, iba yung issues ngayon. So I'm very confident that people will appreciate our platforms and our programs.
The administration's senatorial bets vowed to ensure proper implementation and fund allocation for infrastructure projects in the region.
I support the call of the President to revisit the Bicol River Basin Program. Pinanuli natin yun, baka makatulong para maibsan yung pagbaha dito. Ganon din yung sa massive reforestation ng Mount Isarog area.
Should they win a seat in the Senate, some of the administration's ticket also affirmed to fight corruption and go after those responsible for faulty infrastructure projects, just like the collapsed Cabagan-Santa Maria Bridge in Isabela.
Dapat may mga gumulong ng ulo. About time na mayroong mga tao na mga responsable, mga accountable, na makulong naman for a change. Kasi ang mga nakukulong, yung nagnanakaw ng mangga ng kapitbahay, pero yung bilyon-bilyon yung binubulsa dahil sa mga maling implementasyon ng proyekto, nakatawa eh.
Some of them also presented solutions to address the growing unemployment in the country. These include revisiting various government aid programs and giving support to micro, small and medium enterprises.
Madaliin natin yung proseso ng pag-operate ng isang negosyo, tapos yung mga polisiya natin at access to funding para dito sa mga nag-ninegosyo or naghahanap buhay is more accessible.
The administration's slate will campaign next in Tacloban, Leyte, a known stronghold of the Romualdezes.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino-Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Time has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show today. May exciting, and very interesting guest is a Filipino lady, American lady, who is the charter president of the Asian American Lions Club. Yes, she is the charter president. First time. Okay. She's the founder and charter president. Hi, Miss Janet Reyes. How are you?
Hello po,
Her name is
Miss Veronica Layton. Yes, my name is Janet Reyes. I'm married to Macaranas. Opo.
Janet Reyes Macaranas.
Yes po.
Her full name. You like to be known as Janet Reyes Macaranas, right?
Yes po.
Yes, Janet Reyes Macaranas. Okay, we can do that. All right. All right. Janet is an amazing lady. She's also the owner of a caregiving business, and she's really amazing because with her busy schedule in her business, she has the time to organize and found a Lions Club. And this exciting Lions Club is something different because it's not only for the Filipinos, it's for the Asians, okay? And okay, Miss Janet Reyes Macaranas. I don't want to forget. Okay, Janet, can you welcome to our show first thing, and can you please tell our viewing audience what is it about the Asian American Lions Club that you founded, and you had a very exciting, interesting, and very successful gala event on the night of your celebration.
Yes. Oh, thank you for having me. So yeah, so Chicago Asian American Lions Club was chartered November 13, 2024 last year. But prior being the chart president of the Chicago Asian American Lions Club, I was the president also of the active member of the Chicago Filipino American Lions Club. But they were sponsoring clubs when we chartered the Asian American Lions Club. But we both have the same mission, which is, all the Lions Club. Our mission is to create and foster a spirit of understanding among people for the humanitarian needs by providing voluntary services through community involvement and international cooperation. And then the Lions Club also has a vision to be the global leader in the community and this humanitarian service. So right now, we have 53 in my club only. We have 53 charter members, and then we have additional 5 new club members after the actually during the charter night. There's like couple of our guests that sign up to join our club, so it's very interesting. And we already doing our service projects from feeding the starving children, feeding the homeless. We just finished serving and volunteering. We actually cook, and my members actually, they're amazing. They're very active. I am very blessed to be part of and to be the leader of this club. Yes. So, and then we have international. We're serving globally in the Philippines. We are serving free breakfast every month, after this second mass, first Sunday of the month.
Oh, okay. Oh, it seems that you have a hands full there. But okay, so when you established when you established this Lions Club, you were still a member of another Lions Club, which you mentioned was the Filipino American Lions Club,
Like,
Chicago
yes po.
Filipino American Lions Club. So,
Yes po.
the way Lions clubs are multiplying or having a twinning, what they call the twinning,
Okay.
is that you being a member, you can have your own Lions Club if you want to.
Yes.
You can separate from your mother Lions Club, and you can establish a new Lions Club, which you did, right?
Yes po. So we collaborate. Actually, they're the one who's guiding us, and then they encourage us to have our own club because the Chicago Filipino American Lions Club, they are located close to Chicago area. So we, the Chicago Asian American Lions Club, most of our members live in the suburb, like west suburb. So it's easier for my members to gather and plan in one area rather than driving all the way to Chicago just to attend a meeting,
Which
something like
suburb?
that.
Well, yeah.
West
So you
west suburb.
Chicago. You have membership from Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. That's
Yes,
very
yes.
interesting. That's very interesting. Wow, which suburbs are most of your members come from? The
West suburb.
west suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
And how many new members or charter members did you have at your function?
Okay. The charter members, we had 53. And then we have actually additional 5 members right now to be installed during the upcoming convention of District 1A.
Oh, right.
So we're growing.
Oh, you're talking about the upcoming International Lions Club convention, right?
It's the district po.
That's
There's a district convention this coming District 1A convention this coming March 21st to 23rd, and then there's another international convention that would be in Orlando, Florida. That would be in July.
It seems to me that wow, just belonging to a Lions Club and is will really keep you busy, but being the founder of a Lions Club will really make you busier. And so, Janet, you are a fantastic woman. You're a
Thank you po.
working mother, right?
Yes po. But our kids are grown up, so actually they're helping us already, and they're member of the Lions Club, the Asian American Lions Club. All our children.
Okay. My next question is, what makes you do things like this for the community?
Okay. Being a Filipino, I experienced when I was growing up, I experienced the poverty, and that inspired me to be a better person and be like work hard, finish school, get a job, and just think about being have a better life so I can start helping other people who helped me where am I now. So being I in that way also, I have a lot of good friends and family who support me in anything that we do.
What is it about Lionism that you really like to be, so you got involved with?
Okay. So lines actually we do a lot of service projects. We help feed people. There's like 8 pillars of of the being a in Lions. So we have this like hunger projects. There's like disaster relief. There's a childhood we call this childhood cancer. We have diabetes, so we do like diabetes awareness. There's like an environmental projects also that we do. So we help, clean up, like parks, and at the same time, that would be the time for us to collaborate with other clubs also. And there's like a vision. There's some youth um, involvement, and the humanitarian service, and there's more that we can do. So we love doing all those things that inspired us to help the community.
Very good. The International Lions Club is really a very good organization with their service all over the world. And of course, many, they're also in the Philippines, and many Filipinos here in Chicago are really actively involved with the Lions Club, isn't it?
Yes, po. Just in our district, there is like 70 clubs.
District 1, how many Filipinos?
There's like 70 clubs that are, yes, consist of 70.
Wow. All right. Good. Well, Miss Janet Reyes, I congratulate you
Thank
for
you po.
founding a beautiful organization, and I wish you good luck on all your undertakings. And I really salute you for what you're doing, actually.
Oh, thank you po. Thank you po. It's my honor to, be here by interviewed by a famous Filipino.
Embodies Janet Reyes Macaranas, really embodies the typical Filipino woman who really works hard and really pursues her dreams and ambitions with no end. Right, Janet?
Yes po. Thank you po.
Congratulations to you once again. And congratulations for gracing our show today.
Okay. Thank you.
Sa muli, maraming salamat.
Thank you po for having me. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
Yeah.
I think the norm for our communities has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
in order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be like someone to start that conversation.
You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show today. We have a very interesting young person. When I say young, he's really very young. Filipino-American, and this guy, although he's young, he has been I've watched him. I've watched him in this little community of ours, and he is a very successful, multi-awarded realtor in our community. Very popular. His name is Jason Chavez. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Tita V. Glad to be here. Thanks for the nice introduction, but
Okay. Yeah, that is true though. I've watched you since I met you at the party one time. And my God, by golly, talagang ano talaga, impressive. Impressive this Mr. Jason Chavez. And he is really a very successful realtor in our community. And I invited him today. Well, first thing first, please introduce yourself and what you're doing, about your company and everything. He is a realtor from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stark Real Estate. Okay.
yes. So, hi. Hi, everyone. Mga kabayan, kamusta po? I'm Jason Chavez, licensed realtor, real estate broker with Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate in Palatine. And I used to be the operations manager for ARIA, Greater Chicago, which stands for Asian American Real Estate Association of America. But I had to step down because we have daddy responsibility. So we do have now an 18-month-year old baby girl, and now I'm focusing on helping our Filipino. Sorry, I just got a phone call, but I'm busy right now. But anyway, I'm working on for home buyers, home sellers, investors, and even renters. But I focus primarily on home ownership to assist and guide and educate our kababayans here in Illinois. So there's Filipino Americans, there's first-time home buyers or repeat buyers, and even home sellers. They need to be educated in terms of not just about the real estate, not just about the process, but as well as about the U.S. economics, right? Because there's so many factors that affect the real estate market, and that's very crucial for people to understand because this is their hard-earned money. This is their hard-earned money, and they deserve to be educated, to be informed, and not just to guide them and tell them about how to buy a property, how to sell their property. And that's what I'm here for. And I have a background in industrial engineering. When I was in the Philippines, I was an industrial engineer, and then I studied software engineering here as well at Northeastern Illinois University. So, yun po. Thank you for listening.
How long have you been in real estate? How long have you been doing it?
So I got my license back in 2018, but I started doing the business during COVID. And I remember my first client actually got COVID. When I was showing him home, we were wearing N95 mask, and we're like distance apart from each other. So I will open the door first, get the kid, open the door for him, and I will go back in my car and call him, like, hey, the door is open. You can go ahead and check the property. So that's how it started. I was like,
How you
a lot
got
of
started?
yes, a lot of Filipinos are asking for help, in terms of buying a property, but I was like, you know what, this is my calling to help these people out, get their property, get their dream house.
Wow, COVID time. You took advantage of that critical time, and you really became successful with what you're doing. And you are an immigrant from the Philippines, right? Young
That
immigrant.
that is correct, Paul. Yes.
And you started officially started in 2022, and you have been successful with what you're doing. Amazing, amazing, really. And Jason, um, you still look young. You look like you're 18 years old. I'm telling you. Oh, and okay. So, all right. I invited you here today to talk about your business. I'm sure that you really love what you're doing. And I watch you. We are Facebook friends, and I watch you succeed by getting so many awards, and I mean, selling, really selling a lot of properties. And okay, so for this year, 2025, we're here in January 2025. Okay. Jason, can you please tell us what is, for the sake of our viewing audience, what is the outlook of the real estate market here in Chicago? I mean, not only in Chicago, in Illinois.
In Illinois, yes, Potita. So, with regards to the current market, right? I don't mean to scare you, okay, but we are in a very crucial stage because in 4 days from now we will have a new administration, right? The Trump administration will take the office, and those policies that the FOMC have already planned all the way to 2026 now needs to be changed because those were set up with with the current administration, the Biden administration, but now another administration is taking over, so they have to restructure their plan. Okay, so the first thing that we have to understand is we are in debt crisis. Our nation, as the U.S., okay, if you will go to fiscal data.treasury.gov, we owe $36.17 trillion as a country. Can you believe that? $36.17 trillion. And the main reason why is that is because our administration, the government, has been spending twice as what we are making. So the spending of the nation is $1.79 trillion. Okay. However, we only make as a country 1.08 trillion dollars. So we have a deficit of 200 we have a deficit of $711 billion as a nation accumulatively. Okay, this is historically, not just for this year, for last year. So what this means to us as home buyers, home sellers in real estate, right? So it simply means that the new administration who will be taking over has to implement strict policies to collect more money, to have more tax revenues, okay, to combat the deficit, to lessen the unnecessary spending of the country. And one of the things that the new administration is going to impose is that the tax policies or the tariff policy. So the upcoming president has already told the public, right, that he's going to charge 10% tariff to Canada, to Chinese goods, and up to 25% tariff on import products from Mexico and Canada. So if Trump is going to tax that, I mean, I know what he's doing. He's doing that to collect more tax revenue for the nation, right? To pay off our debts. We're talking about $36 trillion here, right? So it's going to take time to pay it off. So Trump has to do that. However, it's going to cost the consumers for high inflation, the inflation will reaccelerate. Right now, we're at 3.4% inflation down to 3.2% CPI index. But that inflation is still higher than the Fed's goal, which is 2%. So we're still above there. So to make it short and simple, right? The new administration's policies will reaccelerate inflation by imposing taxes and tariffs on our basic goods, right? Because these countries like Mexico, Canada, and China, they hold pretty much a lot of volume of our household products, our daily products, from food, from basic commodities. So if the government will impose tariffs and taxes to this nations, to these products, the distributor, the manufacturer, all of these big guys, right, in the industry, they will pass it on to the end consumer, which is us. And guess what? The prices of everything, basic goods and commodities, will go up, and that will correlate to the housing market. So what's going to the housing market is, if everything goes up, right? The labor, materials to cost a house, everything's going to go up. There will be inflation, and the interest rate will not come down. The interest rate right now, if you go to mortgage.com, Mortgage News Daily, it ended at 7.07% for conventional 30-year fix. If you go to CNBC, it's at 7.11%. So do you think the government will lower the rate down if we have a high inflation, if the inflation will go back? No, because we don't want to encounter the same problem that we've had during COVID. Because during COVID, when I started doing real estate, rates were so low because people were afraid to spend money. So in order to motivate the consumers, the government lowered the Fed fund rate down to almost 0%. That also affected the 30-year fixed mortgage rate. So a lot of buyers bought property and refinanced their homes to those home sellers during that time. That actually moved the prices of homes to go up. I had clients who were buying homes with $10,000 to $15,000 more than the asking, because they want to catch the lower interest rate, right, which is around 2.5 to 3%. So in Illinois, alone, there's a good and bad, right? If you were a homeowner, okay, your properties have gone up by, see here in the data, so by 5.4% increase. So in 2024, the median home price for the entire Illinois is now $295,000 year over year. However, the housing inventory remains low. It's basic law of supply and demand. If there's so much inventory, so much supply, and the demand is low, right, then that's the only time that the price will go down. But if there's low inventory, why there's low inventory? Because a lot of homeowners, they want to hold their property because they have lower interest rate, because they refinanced during 2020. Why would they sell their house just in order for them to get a smaller house and pay the same thing? So they will keep their properties and they will not sell it, right? That's why most houses nowadays in the market are the ones that are either divorce properties or estate sale, right? Like, it's really rare to see someone who wanted to sell their house just to get a new house. So in a different perspective, with the new administration taking over, um, they're gonna lessen some restrictions to the builders across the nation. The top builder that I'm working with, D.R. Horton, they are building so many homes across the U.S. and they're giving away up to up to $10,000 closing cost incentives, and you can find it with a regular mortgage banker, and they can give you as low as 4.99% for 30-year fix. So the thing is, a lot of people are still afraid to get into real estate, in today's market in 2025 because of the high interest rates. But here's what I'll tell you: high interest rates, right, 7% or 6%, they're not going to be there forever. It's a cycle. The government has to keep up and reduce the interest rate, because they are also paying, okay, interest rates or interest on the government's debt. We have debt. So if you have a debt and you have high interest, you gotta do something to lower that interest, right? And the 30-year fixed mortgage correlates to the 10-year treasury yield. So if the come to think of this, right, if someone owes a lot of money because that person, say for example, that person makes $10,000 a month and he spends $20,000 a month, so he's going to go bankrupt at the end of the day. So what he's doing is, in order for him to pay off the debt, is borrowing money from someone. So he's selling bonds. The country is selling bonds. The problem is if no one will buy bonds from the US, the government, okay, will raise the interest rate to encourage this buyers. Could be China, could be Europe, right? This outside countries, or even private investors, so they can attract people to buy bonds. So if they do so, they will increase the interest rate, and it's going to be a dangerous cycle for the economy. But nothing is permanent, right? The only thing that I tell people is why it's still always a good thing to buy a house is because real estate property values is always on an upward trend. If you miss the boat, if you miss the train, for example, for a $300,000 condo, right? Then you will never see that $300,000 condo again because there's no way but up. The real estate market in the entire history from 1940s to 2025 where it was already down for like 6 times, like only 6 years. Imagine that. That's from 2000, let's say 2025 minus 1941, we're talking about 85 years, right? But the market was only down in just 6 years. So right now, I have a lot of clients that I'm working with. Most of them are thinking of buying, but I tell them, like what you always hear from realtors and mortgage officers, right? Marry the rate, marry the house and date the rate, because once you miss the price of the house, it's never gonna go back. Because the only way that the market will crash is if there's more supply, meaning more houses for sale. And one of the things that could trigger that is if people can't afford to pay their mortgage, then they're gonna go foreclosure, and that's the time that we will have oversupply. But as long as people have jobs, right? People are making money, people are paying off people have the capability to pay their mortgage, then there's gonna be no crash. You will just keep on. There's always a cost of waiting. Every time you wait, you're losing the opportunity to buy a house for a cheaper price, because that house that you've been looking on the internet, right? That was listed for $400,000 before. It's now $450,000 now. So, yeah, did that.
Know that. I'm aware of that. So, you mentioned all these facts that's supposedly to be in the offing. Because this week is the inauguration of President Trump, and we are welcoming him as our new president. And it sounds to me that as far as the real estate, facts are concerned, it looks like it's kind of dim, dark and dim for the consumers, for the buyers and sellers. So, well, do you think that government policy will really be enforced? It's a sort of, how sure are you that it's going to be enforced?
Well, in terms of assurance, right? There's no such thing as 100% assurance and accuracy, because knowing the newly elected president, right? Sometimes he says something in public, but then you know change it once he's there in the position, right? But to me, it's necessary for the government to do that, because that's the only way to combat the deficit, right? Because the administration has spent so much, right? So much money. We don't know where the money went to, right? We don't want to get into that, but the challenge is that the new administration has to do something to lessen the expenses of the government. That's why you probably heard of Elon Musk and Vivek, who will be leading the imaginary government agency called Doge, right? Department of Government Efficiency, because their goal is to kind of audit the IRS, audit this, government bodies, right, to make sure that they're not wasting government funds. But it's necessary for the government to do so, so that way we can lower expenses and make sure that we are spending the budget wisely, and pay off the deficit and make more taxes revenue based off the tariff and other tax policies that the new administration is going to impose.
Okay, Jason. All right, I got you. Um, what do you think of this? I mean, this is another foreboding news about and I know that you're aware of it, about many many people are moving out of the state of Illinois
Mm-hmm.
because the problem about number one is property tax in Illinois. It's one of the highest in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Stay relevant.
So yeah, so in terms of that, it really depends from which country. I mean, from which country these people are going to, based on some stats that I've seen before, right? Most people from Illinois, they move to warmer places like Texas or Florida, right? Because they want somewhere warmer. But in terms of property taxes, it really depends on the location. Some areas of Illinois still have lower property taxes. Like right now, the hottest city or town in Illinois in terms of real estate is actually Rockford. Like that's really the hottest right now. The affordability and faster sales are actually going into Rockford, and the median home price in Rockford has actually gone up to $242,000 compared to Chicago, which is $337,000. So in terms of in terms of the taxes, I can argue that California is still worse than Illinois, right? I'm not going to say worse, but we are still better off California and New York in terms of property taxes. That's why a lot of people like actually personally serve clients who move from California, bought a single family home, new construction home in Elgin with Lennar, because they spent almost $600,000. I forgot the price of the house, but I can pull it up. But it's less than $1 million, right? They told me we can never find a house as big as this, as beautiful as this, as new as this, with less than a million, less than $700,000. With that price, we'll probably be able to buy a smaller house, not so nice house with that price. And taxes are ridiculous, right? So,
Okay. All right. So what can you advise to I mean, some people still would like to remain here in the state of Illinois in spite of, okay. And so what can you advise either I mean, if you're in the market, either seller or buyer of real estate here in Illinois? What is the outlook?
so yeah, for the outlook in terms of Illinois, in terms of the housing market, we're not the best state out there, right? Because I'll just look at the U.S. migration data from Redfin, right? So it says there the top 10 areas that people are moving to, okay, is Sacramento, California, Cape Coral. Okay, they're moving to Sacramento, California, Cape Coral, Florida, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Salisbury, Maryland, Portland, Maine, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sarasota, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona, Nashville, Tennessee, and Hilo, Hawaii. So none of these towns or places are Chicago or Illinois, right? But it says right here on the other hand, top 10 areas people are moving from. We're in the top six. Chicago's in the top six. Top one is LA, California. A lot of people are moving out of LA. New York is the second. Third is San Francisco. Fourth
The
is Seattle.
wildfires,
Hmm?
the wildfires, LA
Wildfires. Yeah,
yeah.
that's one thing that I would actually mention about, though it's not really related to real estate, but at some point the natural disaster affects the people's preferences, right, in terms of finding a place to go. So I've been talking about this with my wife and with my cousins, because I have cousins in Atlanta, in New Jersey, in North Carolina, and Florida, right, and even California. And we were just joking around, right? I always tell them, like, I think Illinois is the safest state so far, because those states are by the coast are actually always getting hit by natural disasters, natural phenomena like wildfire or probably tsunami, or hurricanes, flood, and we don't have alligator here. The only thing that people are, hate about Illinois is the cold weather, and that's it. But you can always double your jacket, right? And that's why you have a car to drive. You have heater in your car, but
Rather face the snowstorms and the blizzards.
well, yeah, but it's not as worse. It's not as worse as before, right? Because for the past couple years, I think snowstorms were worse. Because now, like we have a very minimal snow so far, and we're almost halfway January,
I think
right?
I say that too. Yeah. Okay. Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah,
Count our blessings. Always count our blessings anyway.
right, right. Because if
Okay.
if your houses get hit by natural phenomena, you'll have to pay insurance. Your
Yeah.
insurance premium will go up.
All right, Jason. I congratulate you for what you're doing, and I think we're running out of time. One last word. The last quick words.
One
To
last quick
our
word.
kids.
All right, boss. So yeah, knowing that as a nation we are in a very dark, I would say dark debt crisis. It's a turmoil, right? Imagine you live in a country where you think like this is the superpower, right? U.S. is the richest country around the world, but now that you know that we actually owe $36.17 trillion, and the government keeps on spending money. So, and inflation will always beat your savings. If you have $100,000 savings in your savings account, 2 years down the road, if inflation keeps going up, that $100,000 value is not the same in 2 years. So the best way for you to protect your hard-earned money is to invest it in assets that appreciate. And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about real estate. Real estate is proven and tested. Not just I'm not don't listen to me, okay? And I know I'm a realtor, so I'm gonna push you to sell your house or buy houses, right? But do your due diligence. Go check out government websites, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The best way to protect your hard-earned money is to always invest in appreciating assets, and it's not just limited to real estate. You can also buy gold, silver, those tangible assets. You could buy an actual gold and keep it to your room, right? But what I'm saying is, don't just save up money and leave them in your bank or put them under your bed or in your chest, because those money will be weakened by the inflation. So you have to find a way to combat the inflation. By far, real estate appreciates for at least 3% to 5% a year. Inflation is inflation by far, right, is around 3.2%. So imagine that if you're saving money, the bank will just give you maybe a fraction of what you put in there in their account, right?
Correct.
Instead of buying the real estate where you have more appreciation. And not just that, because I have a lot of friends who own who own stocks, cryptos. I do cryptos as well. But what I tell them is this: I get it. You have so much money in your stocks account, right? In your Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch, name them, right? But I don't care, because you don't enjoy them now. When are you going to enjoy it? When you cash it, when you sell your stocks, your shares. If you have a real estate, you get to bring your friends, let them enjoy your beautiful house while you're making money, while you're letting your house appreciate over time. So real estate is the only asset where you can make money through appreciation, right? You have tax benefits as well. At the same time, you get to enjoy it with your family and friends.
Great, terrific, beautiful financial advice. Uh, you will be our guru there. One of these days, pagtanda-tanda mo.
Yes, it's always a pleasure, Paul. I'm always here. I'm a giver. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me. Even if there's no guarantee that you will work with me, I'm okay.
Number,
What?
telephone number.
Oh, my phone number, you can reach me at 312-801-0451. Jason Chavez, your realtor.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Your Jason has Jasohn.
Correct, Tita V. The only one.
HN. All right, talagang Pinoy. All right. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Jason. At hanggang sa muli.
Yes,
All
po.
right.
Thanks for having me, guys. God bless you. Thank you, po.
Alright. Maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Carino-Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community. Secretary Gianoulias attended Walter Payton College Preparatory High School to honor the sophomore class for spending Sweetness Day, registering fellow Chicago Public School students and peers to the Illinois Organ and Tissue Donor Registry. Secretary Gianoulias presented students with certificates of recognition for their acts of service. Every year on March 4th, Sweetness Day is a day of community service at Walter Payton Prep in honor of the school's namesake. This year, the sophomore class dedicated their day towards the Secretary of State's Life-Saving Education and Awareness on Donation LEAD program, a community service program designed for high school students that promotes organ and tissue donation across the state. Earlier in the day, 325 Walter Payton Prep students visited 12 different high schools around Chicago to register fellow students for the LEAD program and the Organ and Tissue Registry. Since the LEAD program launched last September, nearly 20,000 registrants ages 16 and 17 have registered to become organ donors. On March 18, 1925, the deadliest tornado in U.S. history tore through southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, and southwest Indiana, leaving a 219-mile path of destruction. During the Severe Weather Preparedness Month, I want everyone in Illinois to recognize the dangers of tornadoes and other weather disasters, said Illinois Emergency Management Agency and Office of Homeland Security Director Alicia Tate-Nadeau. That tornado, 100 years ago this month, killed 234 residents in Murfreesboro alone, making it the hardest hit town in Illinois during that storm. A total of 695 people lost their lives across the tri-state area. We want Illinoisans to take preparedness seriously, know the risks, have a plan, and review your insurance coverage. A WWE event took an unexpected turn when a section of the crowd booed during the performance of the Star-Spangled Banner, promptly a strong response from commentator and former NFL player Pat McAfee. The incident occurred at the highly anticipated Elimination Chamber event, where tensions flared before the first match even began. McAfee, known for his outspoken personality, immediately called out the reaction, expressing frustration with those who disrespected the national anthem. His comments quickly gained attention, with some fans supporting his stance, while others defended the right to free expression. The moment has since sparked widespread debate in the wrestling community, with reactions split over whether the crowd's response was justified or inappropriate for a major sporting event. WWE has not issued an official statement regarding the incident, but the reaction has added another layer of controversy to an already electrifying night of competition. According to Fox News, the study from Pew Research suggested that the shrink in the number of Christians in the U.S., which has been ongoing since 2007, appears to have leveled off in 2024. The report, officially titled the Religious Landscape Study, is the third such study by Pew in the last 17 years. After many years of steady decline, the share of Americans who identify as Christian shows signs of leveling off, at least temporarily, at slightly above 6 in 10, the report declared. However, despite the latest figures, the report notes that for the last 5 years, between 2019 and 2024, the Christian share of the adult population has been relatively stable, hovering between 60% and 64%. Daylight savings time begins this Sunday, March 9th, and the American Red Cross asks everyone to turn their clocks forward 1 hour and test their smoke alarms. Over the past week, local Red Cross volunteers responded to help 88 people in Chicago, Spring Grove, Evanston, Justice, Skokie, Batavia, Morris, Joliet, Elgin, Plainfield, and Richmond Park, affected by 25 home fires, which account for most of the more than 60,000 disasters that the Red Cross responds to annually across the country. Red Cross volunteers provided items to meet immediate needs after a fire and additional support in the form of shelter, health and mental health services, and one-on-one support. Did you know working smoke alarms can cut the risk of dying in a home fire by half? That's why it's critical to turn and test and take these life-saving steps to stay safe from home fires. Countries throughout Asia suffer the highest rates of abortion in all the world, resulting in the loss of millions of preborn babies. 17 out of 50 countries and territories in Asia allow abortion without any restrictions. That's why Passion Life, a pro-life global missions partner to missionaries and indigenous Christian leaders living in countries where abortion and infanticide are especially concentrated, is determined to equip the church throughout Asia with pregnancy crisis intervention services that help mothers and couples choose life. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.